Vietnam's and geography diversity, shaped by centuries of history and the powerful forces of nature. Located in Southeast Asia, it stretches over 1,600 kilometers from north to south, creating a dramatic regional contrast. Mountains, deltas, coastline, and tropical forests all coexist within its borders. Vietnam geography has profoundly influenced its culture, economy, and identity. This is episode of Geography 101 explores how land, climate, and history intertwine to define Vietnam. Vietnam borders China to the north and Laos in Cambodia to the west, positioning its crossroad of Asian civilizations. The South China Sea runs along the eastern edge, giving the country an extensive coastline. This maritime access has shaped trade, fishing, and cultural exchange for centuries. Vietnam location has been also made it strategically important throughout history. Geography has repeatedly drawn Vietnam into regional global events. The northern regions of Vietnam is dominated by rugged mountains and highlands. The Hoang Lien San Range includes the Phan Xipang, the highest peak in Indochina. These mountains create cooler climates and dramatic scenery. They are also home to many ethnic minority groups. Geography has fostered both isolation and cultural preservation. Northern Vietnam is also shaped by the Red River Delta, one of the most fertile regions in the country. This delta has supported rice cultivation and thousands of years. It's often considered as the cradle of the Vietnamese civilization. The dense population developed here due to agriculture abundance. Geography enabled early political and cultural development. Hanoi, Vietnam's capital, lies within the northern Delta region. The city blends ancient temples with modern infrastructure. Its location near rivers has historically supported trade and governance. Seasonal flooding shape urban planning and architecture. Geography continues to influence Hanoi's rhythms of life. Central Vietnam narrows dramatically squeezed between mountains and the sea. This region is defined by the Annamite Range running parallel to the coast. The mountains limit east-west movement, create climatic divisions. Typhoons and heavy rains frequently affect this area. Geography here presents both beauty and vulnerability. The Central Coast features long sandy beaches and deep water ports. Cities such as Da Nang developed as a strategic maritime hubs. These ports facilitated trade between Vietnam and the wider world. Coastal geography also supported fishing-based economies. The seas remain central to livelihoods in this region. Central Vietnam is a home of several UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The ancient town of Hoi An reflects centuries of global trade. Its rivers and proximity in the seas made it commercial center. Geography allowed cultural exchange between the Asia and EU. History, this is inseparable from place. The climate of central Vietnam is harsh and unpredictable. Seasonal monsoon bring intense rainfall. Flooding can disrupt agriculture and transportation. Communities have adopted through architectures and farming technique. Geography demands resilience and innovation. Southern Vietnam opens into a vast Mekong Delta, one of the world's most productive agricultural regions. The Mekong River splits into countless channels before reaching the sea. These waterways nourish fertile soil, rice, fruit, and seafood thrive here. Geography makes the region's Vietnam food basket. The Mekong Delta is now lying on vulnerable to climate change. Rising sea level threaten farmland and freshwater supplies. Saltwater intrusion increasing concern. Geography now present modern environmental challenges. Adaptation is becoming national priority. Ho Chi Minh City sits near the northern edge of the Mekong Delta. Its location supports commerce and industry. Rivers and canals historically enabled transport and trade. Today, the city is Vietnam's economic engine. Geography underpins its growth and global connections. Vietnam's tropical mountain climate shapes a daily life across the country. Distinct wet and dry seasons affect agriculture. Farmers plan planting cycles around rainfall patterns. Climate varies significantly from north to south. Geography creates regional lifestyle and traditions. Northern Vietnam experiences cooler winters due to latitude and elevations. In contrast, the south remains warm year round. These differences influences housing, clothing, and food. Geography directly impacts cultural habits. Vietnam is unified yet originally distinct. Rivers play a vital role in Vietnam's geography. Beyond the Brad and Mekong rivers, countless smaller waterways crisscross the land. They provide irrigation, transport, and food. Villages often develop along riverbanks, water-shaped settlement patterns. Vietnam's long coastline stretches over 3,200 kilometers. Coastal waters support fishing and agriculture industries. Ports connect Vietnam global trade routes. Coastal geography has encouraged openness to outside influences. This is both resources and responsibility. Vietnam forests cover mountain and highlands across the country. These forests host rich biodiversity. They provide timber, medicine, and ecological balance. Deforestation has posed serious challenges. Geography demands sustainable stewardship. The Central Highlands form distinct geography zone. Elevated plateaus create colder temperatures cooler temperatures. Coffee and rubber plantations dominate the landscape. Geography here supports export driven agriculture. The highlands contribute significantly to Vietnam's economy. Ethnic diversity in Vietnam is closely tied to geography. Mountainous are home of the many minority groups. Each group adapts its environment uniquely. Language, dress, and customs vary by terrain. Geography preserves cultural diversity. Vietnam karst landscape are among its most striking features. Limestone formation create caves, cliffs, and bays. Halong Bay is the most famous example. This formation attract global tourism. Geography becomes an iconic asset. Natural resources have influenced Vietnam's development. Coal and offshore oil reserves support industry. Resource distribution varies by region. Geography shapes economic planning. Balanced development remains a challenge. Transportation networks reflect Vietnam's physical shape. Along north-south corridor defines roads and railways. Mountains complicate east-west travel. Geography channel movement along the coast. Infrastructure follows the land. Vietnam history is deeply tied to its terrain. Mountains provide heat refuge during conflicts. Jungles shape military strategies. Rivers serve as supply routes. Geography influences survival and resistance. Agriculture remains central to Vietnam's rural geography. Rice paddies dominate downloads and deltas. Terrace farming adapts to steep slopes. Geography encourages ingenious land use. Farming reflects harmony with nature. Urbanization is transforming Vietnam's geographic landscape. Cities expand into surrounding farmland. Infrastructure reshapes natural environments. Geography now balances growth, sustainability, shapes is rapid and visible. Vietnam Islands extend its geographic reach. The Parcel and Spratly Islands are strategically significant. Maritime geography influences regional politics. Fisheries and trade routes are involved. Geography intersects with geopolitics or geopolitics. Climate change is reshaping Vietnam's geography. Floods and drought are becoming more intense. Coastal erosion threatens communities. Geography now demands scientific and policy response. The future depends on adaptation. Vietnam's soil types vary widely across regions. Alluvial soil enriches deltas. Mountain soils are thinner and less fertile. Geography determines crop choices. Farming practice evolve accordingly. Tourism thrives on Vietnam's geographic diversity. Mountains, beaches, and dry and rivers attract visitors. Cultural landscape enhance natural beauty. Geography fuels economic opportunity. Preservation is increasingly important. National parks protect Vietnam's ecosystem. These parks conserve forests and wildlife. Geography supports biodiversity hotspots. Conservation balance development pressure. Nature remains central to the national identity. Water management is a geographic priority. Dams regulate river flow and generate power. Irrigation systems support agriculture. Geography demands careful planning. Water shapes prosperity. Vietnam fishing villages reflect coastal geography. Homes cluster near harbor and beaches. Daily life follows the tides. Geography dictates rhythm and routine. Tradition remains strong. Maintain passes historically controlled movement and defense. These passes connected regions. Geography shapes political boundaries. Control of terrain meant control power. History followed the land. Vietnam's wetland supports unique ecosystems. Birds, fish, and plants thrive here. Wetlands protect against floods. Geography provides natural defense. Conservation is essential. Energy production reflects geographic potential. Hydropower using mountain rivers, solar energy grows in sunny regions. Geography enables diversification. Energy strategy follows terrain. Vietnam's rural landscape remained deeply agricultural. Small farms dominate many regions. Geography sustained traditional livelihoods. Modernization brings gradual change. Balance remains key. Cultural festivals often align with geography. Harvest festivals follows agricultural cycles. River festivals honor water resources. Geography influence celebration. Culture mirrors the land. Vietnam's road network adopt terrain, mountain roads, wild or wind through passes. Coastal highways follows sea. Geography dictates engineering solutions. Travel reflects landscape. Urban flooding highlights geography challenges. Low-lying cities face seasonal wall inundation. Drainage systems must adapt. Geography tests urban planning. Innovation is ongoing. Vietnam cuisine reflects geographic abundance. Rice, seafood, herbs, and vegetables dominate. Regional dishes vary by climate and terrain. Geography flavors culture. Food tell us the story of place. The Red River and Mekong River symbolize geography or geographic unity. They sustain millions of people. These rivers link regions and generations. Geography connects past the future. Water is life. Trade routes evolved around Vietnam's geography. Rivers and ports facilitated commerce. Overland roads crossed mountain passes. Geography enabled economic exchange. Vietnam became outward looking. Environmental protection grows in importance. Geography makes Vietnam vulnerable to extremes. Policies now emphasizes sustainability. Development and preservation must coexist. Geography demands responsibility. Vietnam landscape inspired art and literature. Mountains and rivers appear in poetry. Geography shapes national imagination. Natural influence identity. Land becomes language. Education increasingly emphasizes geographic awareness. Students study climate and land use. Geography informs national planning. Knowledge supports resilience. Understanding place empowers people. Vietnam's future depends on managing its geographic wisely. Population growth, pressure land and water, climate risks intensify. Geography must guide decision planning shapes destiny. Regional integration highlights Vietnam's geographic role in Southeast Asia. Trade corridors link neighbors or ports connect continents. Geography supports cooperation. Vietnam stands connected. Despite challenges, Vietnam geography remains a strength. Diversity enables adaptability. Natural beauty drives pride. Geography sustains hope. The land endures. From mountains to deltas, Vietnam tells complete geographic story. Its regions contributes uniquely. Together, they form a resilient whole. Geography blinds differences into unity. Vietnam stands defined by its land. Vietnam geography is more maps and measurement. It is a foundation of its history, culture, and future. The mountains, rivers, and coastline and the deltas shape how people live, work, and dream. Every region reflects adaptation to the land and respect for nature's power. Understanding Vietnam means understanding Vietnam's geography. It's Geography 101 ends. Vietnam stands as a living example of how land and people shape one another across time. And people, again, this is Geography 101. More to come, people. See you soon.